They were testing this theory, and in Africa they do what's called persistence hunting. And they think this is how men kind of became the dominant species. 4 guys will go out like on the plains and they'll chase an animal to death.
In the world of fashion, where style often takes center stage and hype has driven an entire industry, there exists a brand that defies all convention: Noah. By the time Noah launched, streetwear had been out for a number of years, and if you're like me, you grew up with it. Noah's aim was streetwear for the growing fan of the culture, more adult and professional. But how did it all start though? How did a guy go from working at Supreme, probably the most hype brand ever, to a new endeavor that's almost anti-hype? Well, let's find out. I'm Nate the Great from Takeflight214.com, and this is the history and legacy of Noah clothing, the Book of Noah. But first, before we get started, please take a second as always to smash that like button for your boy. Well, now that that's done, let's get to the story. Brendan Babenzien, born in East Islip, New York, circa 1972, always had a passion for skateboarding from a young age. Brendan came up in the golden era of New York skate culture, and the influences he received from it helped shape his ambitions as he grew. He worked his first job at a skate shop at 13, and by the time he reached adulthood, he was well seasoned. In 1996, Brendan got his break when he managed to get hired at Supreme. This was the early days, and Supreme had only been around for about 2 years when he was hired, but little did they know, they were about to build a phenomenon. Babenzien assumed the role of design director, where he played a pivotal role in shaping the brand's aesthetic and identity. Under Babenzien's creative direction, Supreme became renowned for its high-profile, sought-after collaborations. Basically, all the things that made them so popular back in the day. With Brendan's help, Supreme will go on to build the legacy that we know them for today. After all, James Jebbia was always more of a business and management guy, and left the product designs up to his team, led by Brendan. After spending years helping Supreme build, Brendan decided it was time to try his hand at his own brand. So in 2006, Noah was born. Noah originally debuted at New York Fashion Week that same year. Sadly though, very few photos can be found online today of early day Noah, and shortly after launching, for whatever reason, Brendan shelved the brand and rejoined Supreme as creative director. He stayed on at Supreme for a few more years, but in 2015, after leaving yet again, Noah would make its triumphant comeback. Brendan relaunched Noah with the help of his now wife, Estelle Bailey Babenzien, this time with a more refined look and the intentions of giving it a real go. One of the most interesting phenomenons to come from Supreme's expansion into the mainstream culture over the past few years is the space that expansion has created for numerous offshoots and side projects to find their own feet. But to call Noah an offshoot is to do it a disservice. They're way more than just that. When Brendan left Supreme the last time, he left because he had a mission of his own. He wanted to do something different, something that spoke to his values and the values of his generation. And though he's still on good terms with the guys at Supreme, he wanted to offer an alternative approach to streetwear, one less about hype and resale prices and more about pure style and quality and a message. Shortly after launching, Brendan linked up with longtime friend Chris Gibbs in his shop Union, LA for a small-scale pop-up that offered a taste of things to come later. The move wasn't so much a departure from Brendan's previous work as it was an evolution of his craft as a whole. Not to mention his long-stated goal of ethical business practices, which was something that Brendan sought out to weave into his business long ago. In 2015, he opened the Noah flagship store in the Soho district. All their clothing is manufactured in factories around the world where they treat and pay employees fairly, which is definitely not the norm in that industry. Alongside this, the brand uses premium materials and manufacturing techniques, which is obviously a double-edged sword though. You see, it's because of these noble pursuits that Noah often carries higher price tags than many other brands. But to offset that a bit, and play into the sustainability aspect, customers are encouraged to bring their pieces back into the store once they're done wearing them, and they'll get a discount on the next piece, which is actually not a bad idea. Brendan has also made no bones about his political leanings, and it extends into the brand's ethos, which in this highly polarized time could be positive or negative depending on the angle you view it from, if you know what I'm saying. But Brendan has always been unapologetic about his worldview. Noah has managed to find the line between environmentally conscious / anti-capitalist practices and being a brand that commands high dollar and high hype, and straddle said line. Successfully though, up until this point. Some may call that hypocritical or confuse it with the grift of most large companies these days, but Noah was always one of the first streetwear companies to actually make this a stated goal. But in a world of multinational corporate greed where the only thing most brands seem to care about is profit alone, it's nice to see someone actually trying to do better and seeming genuine about it. With all these things mixed with Noah's timeless designs, I'd say that the brand has got a bright future ahead. But what do you think? Are you a fan of Noah? Hit us in the comment section and let us know. And if you made it this far, we hope that you hit the like button. Liking and sharing these videos is the only way to get the YouTube algorithms to continue to promote us so that we can continue to grow as a channel. And if you want to be updated whenever we drop a new video, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you'll be dinged when each new episode drops. But with that being said, I'm Nate the Great from Takeflight214.com signing out. Until next time, fellas and ladies, peace.